There, this is Tess. You're thinking of launching your own online course and you're hesitating between using either YouTube, Udemy, or another platform. Now we've done both. We created an online course both on Udemy and on YouTube, and this video will go over the differences in terms of financial return, in terms of audience reach, and so on. Let's get started. Before we get started, you should know that creating an online course is, well, a lot of work. You're not just scripting and creating and performing the video editing and so on. You also have to think about marketing, about the best pricing strategies, about, of course, now which platform to use, and also the maintenance. People might ask some questions, and it's important to keep those things in mind when you're figuring out whether this is something that you should do. On the other hand, once you've completed a course and it's now online, this is of course an additional form of passive income. So right now I have 2 courses online. I don't have to worry about them that much anymore. And this is of course a really fun way to get that additional income on top of the primary income you might already have.
Screw it.
In terms of distribution options, of course, there are other options than YouTube or Udemy, but we will not discuss them in this video. Now, let's go over to our first use case, launching an online course on YouTube. Our first video we launched was our online course on the DA100 exam for Microsoft Power BI. It was our first course, our first video, and before we could start generating revenue, we of course had to reach those milestones that YouTube requires. And so at this point in time, it's 4,000 hours of watch time and 1,000 subscribers, which is quite a lot. So you see the total earnings here. So this is over the period of 1 year. And you also see that there's been some amount added. Well, because this is of course not the only income that you receive. You likely also have some affiliate links that you can use from, for example, Amazon, Google, which can also generate some additional revenue. In our case, it's a Patreon page where we ask people to support the channel for the first video. So this is an expectation on the first online course on YouTube. But this was also a video that wasn't really active on the platform, and there weren't any existing videos that covered the DA100 exam, at least not to the extent of a 2-hour video, and that's also the reason why we were able to reach that many views. Let's go over to the other example, launching a first course on Udemy. We created another online course for a new Microsoft exam, this time launching it on Udemy instead of offering it for free on YouTube. Now we learned from the mistakes from the previous course. We were the first one that made this course for the particular exam, and we were actually able to generate income right away. After a couple of months, we were now averaging about $250 per month, which is quite good. In Udemy, the course creation process was also a lot easier, and they allow for these structured formats to create a course. They also allow you to add external resources, which is a bit harder in YouTube, and overall just the production process was a lot easier. Now we still had to market our course. In YouTube there was a lot of marketing that came into play on Reddit, on these different blog posts and so on. We didn't have to do that for Udemy. The majority of our students actually came directly from Udemy, which is of course very helpful if you're just getting started. Now in both cases, so Udemy and YouTube, you really have to find a way to stand out from the crowd. So you have to either find a topic that isn't really researched, that people are really interested in, a new exam that is launching, and so on. So these are things that you should keep in mind when you're researching a topic. What I found a bit ordinary with Udemy is that I also got contacted after launching the course by these online platforms that want to license the content, and then you work with some kind of royalty agreement. We're still trying to figure that out, but if this would come through, let's say, it would actually exceed the affiliate income from YouTube. So this is also something that we didn't really expect beforehand. Now with Udemy, there is this, let's say, negative thing in terms of having that additional work of maintenance. So people can actually ask questions about your course. They can, they can give reviews, so maybe you have to add some things to keep it relevant. And there is some more maintenance involved. You're also not building subscribers automatically, who will then also watch your other courses that you create. So this is also a difference in comparison to YouTube. But as you see on the slide, there is this financial difference. Udemy is financially more interesting compared to YouTube, but it's all about what you want in terms of the end goal. Do you want to reach a large number of people, a very large number of people, or do you want to limit yourself to a small number of students who are actually paying to view your content? So, in conclusion, as we've seen the numbers, we can conclude that financially speaking, Udemy is far more interesting than launching a course on YouTube. It's also important to note that people will just find your course way more easily on Udemy if they search for specific topics. In YouTube, you're searching for something and then a video of a cat shows up. So this is also something to account for. On the other hand, YouTube, you're building your audience, you're reaching a lot more people, as you've seen in the example, but YouTube is less interesting financially. Starting a channel is of course a lot of hard work. Typically it doesn't stay with one video, but you have to keep on creating content every so often. And you also have no control whatsoever in terms of pricing, in terms of the CPM, the advertising money that you're getting. This is all out of your hands. For Udemy, generating income is easier, and also starting is easier than on YouTube with that criteria rather that you have, but it's again a whole different take on things. There are also some downsides to Udemy, like the exclusivity and the copyright requirements. There is this continuous maintenance. People might ask you questions about certain topics, and there is some control in terms of pricing, but generally not so much. You start with a very high pricing, and then Udemy is doing all those discounts automatically, because so in the end you don't have any control really. That's it for this video. I hope that this example helped you in determining whether you will eventually move to YouTube or start your first online course on Udemy. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section below, and thanks for watching this video. Bye bye.